Today's review is brought to you by the Groundhog Company. Have you ever seen any groundhogs on the wrong side of your town?
And you can't figure out how to get them back to their home?
Well, we're putting the complaints to rest with this program, hoping that on Groundhog Day, people won't relive the day repeatedly. Now let's hear from the citizens who have contributed to the program.
My cousin claimed that she had to relive Groundhog Day over and over and over again. Eventually, I got fed up with the rumor and called the company to help her find this groundhog that was in her yard. After that, she went back to the regular 365. Yeehaw! Then she lived a classic fairy tale story, fell in love with a donkey, rode up into the sunset, and fell into a canyon. You know, the usual. The classic romance story.
Yeah, sure. I was driving around town one day and I nearly hit a groundhog. It was such a frightening moment that I don't want to replicate. Getting involved with the Safe Homes program was a good decision because instead of sending those little adorable woodchucks to a questionable zoo, they're sent back to safer burrows in town, away from human population. But now that I think about it, what if they dig their way back to our homes with the help of raccoons? Oh no, I gotta get out of here! Oh!
Safe homes for groundhogs, everyone. Saving a groundhog saves a human's mind and soul.
Now you can call Safe Homes for Groundhogs at 1-800-HOG-SAFE. That is 1-800-HOG-SAFE. Program is only available for calls regarding groundhogs, aka woodchucks, and is not available for the following: raccoons, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my! Please do not call the program to get our employees to do your landscaping. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Do the work yourself. Now on to our regularly scheduled movie review. Welcome to the Western Reviews podcast. Welcome back, and this is just spontaneous, very last minute. But for today's review, I'm joined by a very special guest. If you would please welcome from Listen, Mr. Curtis Elton. No relation to John. We don't. That would be cool though. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
I am fine. How are you?
I could be better.
That was a great introduction. That was great.
Yeah.
You came up with.
Yeah, it was just spontaneous and at the last minute. I just thought, I think since it's up to your alley working on scripts. What can I say?
Yeah. And your lady voice. That was. Mwah.
I had to channel my inner Eddie Murphy a little bit. My mother would approve. Now we're here to review a movie for what has required to be a holiday. We kind of switched up at the last minute because we weren't very sure about the release date of the original movie we were going for. Hopefully this will be a good alternative for everybody that's out there listening to this podcast. The movie that we're reviewing today is Groundhog Day, classic 90s comedy film starring Bill Murray in the titular role. I mean, the plot is pretty much getting stuck in Groundhog over and over again.
And what I love about this movie, it's a very repetitive movie, and it's just like me, and it never gets old.
Right.
What I like about this movie, it's very repetitive. It's just like me, and it never gets old. What I love about this movie is it's very repetitive, and it never gets old.
Yeah, it's very repetitive. Just like he said, it's very repetitive. Bill Murray's just, this character that just goes through the stages of repetitiveness. First, he goes through the trauma of reliving the day. Then he has a little bit of fun with it. Causes a little bit, a little mischief. Causing a little bit of mischief around town. And then eventually he has to, go through the consequences of reliving the same day over and over again when he finds love with one of his fellow news anchors.
Yeah, and that's what finishes the cycle. It's over and over again until he falls in love with a news anchor.
Right, and tries but fails numerous times to woo her and have her fall in love with him, and has to start over and over again until he gets it right.
Yeah. Would you consider this a comedy movie or a romance movie or an action movie? Not an action. It could be an action movie. Could it be an action movie?
Some people out there, I've heard and I've read this before, but some people out there consider it a horror movie. I can kind of see it if you're living the same thing over and over again. But I think it's more of a rom-com, kind of shortened up for a romance comedy per se. There's elements of romance and there's lots of elements of comedy because the jokes fly and it sticks and it lands. Personally, I like it.
It's a great movie. Would you say it's his best movie?
I'm not a Bill Murray extraordinaire, not a major fan. I really have not dug out to see a whole lot of his movies per se.
See, I'm only making conversation there because that's the only movie of his I've seen.
Right.
I'm just making conversation there. I have seen a bit of Ghostbusters, but that's all I've seen.
Right. When I regard this as the best film, like other people, I that would be for the audience out there to judge. Because personally, both of us are not Bill Murray extraordinaires. We have not seen a whole lot of Bill Murray movies. I'm just like him when I've seen Ghostbusters, maybe another movie or two. If I look up his IMDb page or Wikipedia or whatever, maybe something might actually come up to mind. Something I've seen. There's something has not grasped my attention because it's not memorable per se. It's just to me, but not to the audience.
Yeah, I understand. What about his SNL days?
Yes, Saturday Night Live back in the day. Yes. When Saturday Night Live was considered great, good, had a great shining cast of players. Bill Murray was great on that show. I saw quite a few of his skits. Especially, I think he was one of the Weekend Update or the news anchors. I don't know what they called it. I
think he was Weekend Update anchors.
Yeah.
Updates. Weekend Update.
And I just kind of fit that because his voice kind of fit that program. So I think Groundhog Day, he kind of had that preparation beforehand with his SNL days. So I think he kind of harked back to their movie. There's some other somewhat recognizable names. I know alongside Bill Murray, MacDowell as his love interest Rita. I only know her for doing one of those other cartoon movies later on. I think it was Barnyard or something. Like something that a whole lot of people would know about. But
I'm on the same page up as you right now. I'm just looking through it. What's Barnyard?
I believe Barnyard was an old Nickelodeon movie spawned off a television series about some talking farm animals that just go through the usual hijinks. I think that's what it's about, but yeah, pretty much, yeah.
No, there's another movie that's exactly like that. Charlotte's Web. Is that the same movie? No, I'm thinking of a movie. It's Animal Speaking. Mary Poppins? What is it?
Charlotte's Web. Yeah. Charlotte's Web is very similar. They're talking animals. Might be out of both of them are around farms. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Now the thing about Groundhog Day, it's been not ripped off. It's had a lot of spin-offs. Lots and lots and lots and lots of spin-offs.
I'm sure.
Have you seen Happy Death Day?
Absolutely not. I have not seen Happy Death Day.
Good. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's a spin-off. It's a spin-off, and it's where they have to find the murderer before the day repeats until they find the person who killed one of the victims. Until they find a suspect. And it just goes over and over again. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm not a horror type of person, but I watched it.
You heard it here, folks. Happy Death Day may not be for you. It might not be for me. I just have to look it up because, yeah.
If you love horror movies, then definitely watch it because I recommend it if you like horror movies or thrillers.
You heard it out of here. And then, let's see. I think, like the other cast members I know from cartoons. Chris Elliott as that snarky cameraman. I know him for guest starring in the SpongeBob episode.
Did he?
One of the later episodes, not the earlier episodes. I think it was like one of their Halloween specials.
The person who played Ned, he was in Garfield. You know the Garfield movie? And the Lorax.
Yeah. Oh, yes, the Lorax too.
No, I'm just reading this. I don't know any of this. I'm just reading this online.
I know the movies you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. I know what the Lorax is. It was a good movie, and it had a great It had a great cast, but we're not speaking about that today.
Yes, we're sure.
Okay, back on track.
And then one more actor I just want to mention here, the mayor, Brian Doyle Murray. I believe he's related. Yeah, he is the brother of Bill Murray.
He is?
Also known for a cartoon as well. Yes,
Yes, I
I
didn't know
believe
that. That's a good fact.
they do have a lot. Yeah, a lot of similarities. They're both brothers. Both of them were on Saturday Night Live, and both of them did something for kids. Bill Murray was the voice of Garfield. Um, and Brian Doyle Murray, I believe, was the voice of the Flying Dutchman for SpongeBob. I know his character has been reduced in recent years, but he had a more prominent figure appearance early
Oh,
on.
I
So
didn't know any of that. It looks like they've
a
been in
lot
the
of
same
things.
movies. They've both been in Scrooge, both been in Groundhog Day, and both been in Ghostbusters.
Wow.
I'm learning things here. The person hosting the show right now, he knows a lot about movies. Definitely
Yeah,
carry on watching the show, listening to the show.
I've been talking Google machine, so just a little humble brag. That's all.
You're the host. I'm used to hosting. What are your favorites? What are your favorite movies?
I just a question that I've gotten from time to time from family members. I don't think I've actually have like a favorite movie. I mean, in terms of going back to watching movies on multiple occasions, it's more likely animated films from when I grew up watching them that I considered favorites then. Would I consider them favorites now, looking at the quality? Not so much, but
Which
a
which
lot of
ones?
like when I was a child growing up, when I was a little Western wonder, I regarded movies like the SpongeBob movie or Shark Tale, the first SpongeBob movie rather. I forgot. There's three of them. I'm I'm getting up there. Shark
Yeah,
Tale.
that's the only SpongeBob movie I watched. What about the Simpsons movie?
I did not watch the Simpsons movie growing up. I
Oh,
told yeah, I did not catch that I was way too young to catch it in theaters, but I definitely don't remember catching that on television either. So. But I heard it's a good
do
movie.
you like Disney cartoons, Disney animated movies, or are you more into like cartoon Nickelodeon movies and the what type of movies are you into?
It varies. Usually the ones with the from the big companies that I like that I've seen over the years from Disney, DreamWorks, uh, 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 um, Illumination. Not very much. I tried to get with them on certain movies like The Secret Life of Pets and Despicable Me movies. I did like the first
Oh,
Despicable Me.
I
But
like the Despicable Me movies. Those were good movies. Have you seen the latest Secret Life of Pets #2?
I have not. I saw the first one in theaters.
I recommend seeing it. It is a good movie.
I will.
Anyway, back to Groundhog Day.
Right back
This
to
is about
ground.
Groundhog Day. Sorry,
Right. This
I'm
is
used to going off. I'm used to not focusing on any topics.
right. It usually happens to my show too. I try to fit in some quirky pop culture references during the review that's not related to the review. So something Mally. Trust me, it's not just you, but
Good. Good. I thought I was the only one who. You might give me a thing to talk about Groundhog Day. I'm going to speak about something completely different. I'll start off with
right,
Groundhog Day and I work my way all the way to Avengers. Speaking of
right.
Avengers, which one's your favorite?
And I'm not really into like I'm just different. I like the animated stuff, not really the superhero stuff. I saw the latest Avengers, Infinity War. I think I prefer that one over the first one. It's grasped my attention more. So
See, we're now on Avengers. We're now speaking about Avengers. Oh, did you see
right, we're not
Endgame?
talking about
No, one more thing before we go back to. Did you see Endgame?
I did see Endgame. Endgame was good.
Good. It was good. Okay,
Very
now
good.
back to it.
Back to Groundhog Day. I just wanted to ask you a question. Since you're a guest on the podcast show, something related to Groundhog Day, not exactly any other movie or TV show or whatever. If you like, we can have a conversation and go on a tangent about that another day. We could go over time with that. But the question being for you, the guest, how would you How would you go through your life if you have to repeat Groundhog Day over and over and over again, similar to what Bill Murray's character went through?
Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. What would I do over and over again? I'd start off gassing everyone up because that's annoying. I'd start off being extra annoying in the beginning of the day because it's starting off in a good way. So I'd start off being annoying, making noise. Then I'd eventually get tired of it. So I'd watch TV, the show over and over again. I'd probably watch a movie. I'd probably watch Groundhog Day. Then I will learn. Then eventually I'll learn all the lines off by heart. I don't know. How would you live over and over again? Is there a way out? Is there a way out?
That is a good question. Is there a way out? I'd probably be like similar to Bill Murray's character. Like, am I hallucinating the same day over and over again? Is this like a long dream? Perhaps. Maybe that's the way out. That's usually how it goes with most dreams that I can think of. But yeah, very much similar to the Bill Murray stages. Definitely the trauma of going through it over and over again and realizing any mischief that I can get to does not have consequences on me the next day. It's just all completely wiped off, which would not be good. I think I just get a lot of mischief. Then the next day I'm just like, I'm out of jail or whatever predicament I end myself up in. It's a cycle that repeats. And then finally I have to be like him and start good deeds. Then who knows?
I've got one. If I was stuck in over and over again, I will open my eyes. There we go. I will open my eyes because I was asleep the whole time. Plot twist.
That works.
That works. That would be scary though if I was just stuck over and over again. But it would make a great movie. It would make a great movie. I know. They should make a movie about that.
Right. That'd be great. That'd be cool.
I don't know why they haven't done that yet.
Have Groundhog Day just with not well known people. Have listen, and watch reviews do their own versions of Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Just for one day.
Just for one day.
But yes, Groundhog Day, you're not kidding. I'm just repeating your earlier statement. Definitely has grown into a lot of adaptations. Like, for one, I did not know that there was a musical based off of Groundhog Day that recently came to Broadway a couple years ago. But
there is?
Yes, there was a musical.
Well,
I don't know if
musicals about everything. They've done the SpongeBob musical. They've done yes, they've done a SpongeBob musical.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about that?
I did hear about that. Yep.
I haven't seen it.
It's okay. I'm indifferent to the musicals nowadays. Movies and everything. Everything that's old movies and TV shows are being adapted into musicals nowadays. I'm like, where would the original musicals at? But it's just me. It's just me.
I tell you, what if they made a musical into a movie? And I've got a great choice, just a great choice to start off with. Cats. Try that. I think it'll go well.
Right. Try making Cats
a movie.
Right. We saw what happened with that result,
Yeah. They should do one for each animal. Because it couldn't get any boring. What about pigeons?
Pigeons.
That works. You follow them on their journey from going from one end of Central Park to the other. And what happens once they reach the other? They have one little seed. They get to eat some seeds. That'll work.
Oh, that's a good idea. I think I like pigeons more than dogs now.
This is really done. This is done from Groundhog Day to dogs and pigeons.
Right. This is great. We're going off the rip. This is not far from my usual conversations with somebody when I'm trying to stay on topic and then just ultimately goes left. I love it.
I don't mind. That's my type of thing. Did you see my favorite bits in it is the suicide scenes. That funny way he's driving around and he drives off a cliff.
Yeah. True that, true that. And of course, my favorite bit personally would be good old Ned from high school. Ned down the block, Ned down the street, Ned down this way, Ned down that way. I just love Ned.
That's I like that bit too. That character never gets old. He just keeps coming up, but again, it never gets old.
It never gets old. It kind of sort of reminded me of the dynamic between Homer Simpson and Ned Flanders, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I can kind of see the resemblance there. It's canny, but
no, that's true. Oakley dokley. Now,
right.
you know what movie it does remind me of? What's that movie? Where he's stuck in a TV show almost. Stuck in a TV show. What's that movie called? Got it. One second. You can edit this tiny bit out. What?
Right. It'll be edited. It might be spontaneous, but it'll be edited.
No, Truman Show. There we go.
Aha.
The Truman Show. He's stuck in it, and there's this. I'm not sure if his name is Ned, but the whole entire time the same people keep coming up to them. That's what the movie reminds me of.
Right.
Truman Show, and his name is Christoph. Is it? Do you remember that scene? I think they're twins. Or is that Groundhog Day?
Twins. It might be from Truman Show. I think it would be. I just definitely remember Jim Carrey living in this town.
It's one of my favorite movies. I like it. I like the movie a lot. And the person's called... Yeah, they look similar. That's why they remind me. I'm not sure if you can Google it. The two characters look the same. Christoph's played by Ed Harris, and in Groundhog Day... One second, I have this all on my device. Chris Elliott. They look the same. No, Stephen Tobolowsky. There we go. That's him. The person who plays Ned and the person who plays Christoph, they look the same.
Wow. Yeah, let me see.
That's what it reminds me of. Groundhog Day and Truman Show are very similar movies, but different storylines.
Yes, very similar. I can see the connection to lots of movies, and in fact, I think Groundhog Day kind of predicted where we are now in 2020. And staying home and reliving the same day over and over again.
Yeah, it predicted 2020. But you just said here in 2020. We're now in 2021.
Right, 2020.
Yeah, same thing.
Right, it's the same thing. We're staying home. We're living it.
Are you in lockdown where you are?
Not exactly like lockdown, but definitely under.
Where I am, where I am right now, we're all in lockdown. We're stuck. But I don't mind because I get to do my show and I get to do your show. It would be the same either way.
Right.
The only difference is there's wording saying you have to stay at home. And here's what happened. Once it opened up a few months ago, because when I'm at home, I'm stuck at home, and I want to say I want to get out. When I go out, I want to say I want to go back home.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird, but it's like Groundhog Day.
Right, we're living the same day over and over again.
Yeah.
Either doing my podcast or living my life, but that's why I kind of like Groundhog Day. I kind of relate to it now compared to the first time watching it before this panoramic began.
Oh, I like that. Panoramic. It's panoramic hand down. Yeah. That's
makes it sound like a mystery.
Say that again?
Panoramic. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Make that into a mystery or something.
Yeah.
But to give some closure on Groundhog Day, I just want to wrap it up here. I know I said we were going to do 20 minutes, but of course we went on a tangent. We went over line, but that's fine.
We went on 20 minutes, and you can edit out all the tiny gaps in between.
Yeah, just a little tiny gaps.
Or, no, maybe do the whole lot. This has been a good conversation.
Right. We got to do this again, of course, but... It was really good. But to give some closure on Groundhog Day, I could definitely see the appeal of that being one of the most popular comedy movies from back in the 90s. I think people can relate to Bill Murray's real life situations. In fact, I heard that in Bikini Bottom is probably one of Squidward's favorite movies, Groundhog Day, reliving it over and over again. I think there was a SpongeBob episode from the earlier seasons where it's kind of similar. Squidward reliving the same thing over and over again when he's in a new town with squids and he's away from SpongeBob and Patrick. He kind of relives that same thing.
I think I remember that episode.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah. So a lot of movies and TV shows have come from Groundhog Day. They're all spin-offs.
Right. It's probably proven that Groundhog Day was probably inspiration for the episode because it repeats over and over again. And he has to, he's not exactly doing good deeds. He kind of actually has to get his own self out of his predicament instead of just actually doing good deeds. He doesn't really do good deeds in the town on his way out, you know, using reef blowers to detach people's bodies and not exactly good.
How many times have you seen the movie?
For Groundhog Day?
Yeah, how many times?
I've seen the movie 3 times.
Three times. And you got all of that from 3 times.
3 times.
I've seen it 3 times, but spread out. Spread out over years. But
I had to watch it again because it's spontaneous. I usually follow a script, but since, you know, you have a guest on.
Yeah.
I like the invite to go out.
Yeah, that's how I like it.
Yeah. Of course, but yeah, I don't usually have a rating for these kinds of movies, especially classic movies, but I usually, I'm going to put my old movie rating up that I used to implement. I'll give this movie a yeehaw-tastic rating. It's a really great movie. Great analysis on being stuck in time over and over again.
I like that. Yeehaw-tastic. What do you call a bad rating? Or like an average rating? Is yeehaw-tastic good? Sounds good.
Yeah, yeehaw-tastic is good. And then,
so
if you get the lowest rating, horrible. Horrible.
Horrible. I like that. What about in the middle? What about in the middle?
I usually just call it a meh, but maybe with a moo, meh, moo. Still, I was kind of working around that. I was trying to find a touch of that.
Well, I like it. I like your rating. Just with my rate, I'm just going to use a number. If you don't mind me rating it, just with a number. I'm going to give it a 792 out of 1,000.
That works.
That works.
792.
792.6 out of 1,000. There we go.
6. You got to get the point in there.
That's right. Yeah, you have to get a 0.6 up. That would have been catastrophic.
And Groundhog Day has the honor of being my first movie of getting the yeehaw-tastic rating since probably when I was still doing YouTube reviews. So congratulations, Groundhog Day. And put some applause sound effects. No, there's applause. That'll just go to the editor's room. I'll just stick that up in there. But that was sort of an ending of sorts.
It's a good ending.
It's a very good ending. It was good having you on for this episode. We had a little bit of discussion.
I'm sure the title's going to be. I'm sure it's going to come out on Groundhog Day, and the title's going to be Groundhog Day. It's not about Groundhog Day.
Right, it's Groundhog Day. And other things.
Yeah. Call it that. That would be a good name. Groundhog Day and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I'm not like those fancy cinema snobs, so I'm not exactly going to review deep in there. I want to have fun in there. So if you wanted actually like a serious review of it, this is not your podcast. It's fun.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
But it is a great show. You've got a great show here.
And you have a great show as well. I just want to shout out, listen once again for joining me on this episode. Stay tuned for my next one. So, Black History Month is on the way. I have to do my little plug. Friday and Saturday reviews. That is with REVUE. Stay tuned for more information on that. It's probably going to come as I tweak this episode out when the time comes. But and everybody out there, stay safe. And then next episode, I'm looking forward to it too. I'm the one that's making it. I don't know what I'm going to say about this movie, but thank you for listening, everybody, and see you next time.
Bye. Thanks for having me. Thank you for having me.